Have you seen how expensive even the smallest CNC plasma tables are? These two boxes behind me from China may just solve that problem. Stay tuned to the end of the video where I tell you how cheap this was, how fast I got it, and where you can get the exact same machine. Wow, so I don't know if you can see here, but this is packaged really, really well. I guess this is the CAD CAM program that's free. This, I imagine, is the Z-axis. Wow. This is really nice. Here's the second stage of the machine. Get it out of here. This is looking pretty nice so far. When I tell you guys at the end how much I paid for this and how quick I got it, you're not going to believe it. This thing has a built-in torch height controller. It has preset designs for cutting, and you can actually design your piece in this thing. You don't need to learn Fusion 360 or CAD CAM or anything like that if you don't want to. As long as it's not crazy complicated, you can do it right in the controller of this. So this is going to be the rails that this rides on. So it looks pretty straightforward and simple. The company did send me a bunch of videos, A to B, on how to assemble it, control it, upload programs to it. You can see it's got a USB port right here. You can just stick your stick right into it. Like I said before, it's got a torch height controller built in. And I guess it works off of this. So if you haven't figured it out, this is like a linear rail plasma cutting machine. I personally have built two CNC plasma tables. One was 4 foot, one was 6 foot by 12 foot. And even the 4 foot, you can't even buy the steel for what I paid for all this right here, let alone the torch height controller, the controller. You got to learn CAD and CAM and all that. This right here, you can actually build a frame if you wanted to, which I probably will for this, and just attach it right to the frame. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Or you can just take it with you mobile and kind of use it, which for now, I think to test it, I'm just going to clamp this rail on the side there if it works out. Or I got two tables or some sawhorses, I'm going to attach it and then just cut like that with it. The other thing about this is it also has the option for using an oxygen acetylene torch. So that's one thing. Like when I built the brake press over there, what I had to do was laminate it, or I had to cut 1/2-inch plates, 3 of them, put plug holes in them, weld them all together. And I wish that I could have just cut the 1.5 inch in one shot. So what I plan on doing is after I run this and test it out, I'm going to order all the stuff from him to use it for oxygen acetylene torch cutting, because it will fire and do everything. I think the stuff for oxygen acetylene torch cutting is like an extra $100 and some. I should have ordered it, but I wanted to keep it as cheap as possible for this video and just test it out and see if it was even worth it first. Let me do some light reading, assemble this thing, and I'll get back to you. So I haven't looked at any of the instructions, but it looks pretty straightforward to me. This looks like the bottom kind of rail here, linear rail that it rides on. And you can see it's kind of like extruded aluminum with steel rods inside of it. It's pretty heavy duty. And here's the rack and pinion right here. And when I look down in the front of this, on the bottom, you can kind of see how it's laid out. So it looks like that just slides right into this. Let's see if that's correct. All right. Wow, can it be that easy to assemble right out of the box? So if you look down in here, there's these rails right here, and you could see on the bearings in there, there's little grooves in there. So they got it set up where you line up those grooves with that. You got to tap it a little bit because it's tight, and then it goes right in. Same thing here. You just slide it in. You got to tap it a little because it's really tight, and it goes right in. Boom. So that is pretty much that. The axes are assembled. It's pretty easy. I said here, you can see, you can just clamp it down to a table. and cut with it. So I think I'm gonna clamp it to the side of the table, just hang it off, and maybe you know, put a little sawhorse right here with some steel to test it out. Now I got to figure out putting the Z-axis on there, figure out the software, and to keep in the fashion of everything cheap, the plasma cutter we're going to use is this $99 plasma cutter off of Amazon. I did a review on this. I searched that down, did a review on this. This thing is kind of amazing so far for what it is for $99. It's crazy. So what I'm going to do is break into that box, grab all the connections I need, run them to that, and that's what I'm going to use. So let me get all that set up, figured out, and I want to figure out the program and stuff like that, and then I'll get back to you. I've ran into 2 issues so far. The first issue is the cord that he sent me is for 220 power for overseas. So I just assume this unit is wired up for 220 for overseas, and we use 110 here in the US. So I reached out to him right away. He got back to me within like 10-15 minutes, and he told me this unit is set up to use 220 or 110. Like my welder, it will automatically figure out what voltage is coming in and regulate it. So he told me just cut the end off, put an American end on it, which I have right here, and I'm gonna do, and it should be fine. So my second issue is I wanted to use my $99 plasma cutter just to keep this as cheap as possible. And if you haven't seen the video on this, go back and watch it. At the time I purchased this, it was 99 bucks. Go check it out. The problem with this is it's high frequency. So high frequency tends to mess with electronics, and I built a plasma table in the past, and I used a low frequency, and it was actually messing with it. I didn't think that I could use this one, and I reached out to him, and I told him, you know, should I get a different one? He told me no, people use high frequency plasma cutters with this all the time. He said it's shielded inside, and he said it should handle it no problem. So I'm gonna jump into this thing, break the box open, jump into it, wire it directly in, and we'll see. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll just return it and get a different one. You know, I bought it on Amazon not even a month ago, so I can do that. I got the American plug on the end there. Let's plug this thing in and see if we get some power. Hopefully we don't burn it up. Whoa. Came right on. Switch was on. Wow. It's on. I don't know if you guys can see the screen, but see it? Wow. It has all these settings and controls that you can see. It says torch up, torch down, pierce time, auto torch height control. Everything's built into here. Set arc 125. I don't know if you guys can read all that. And this is a picture text of the square. So I'm not sure how to control this. There's the X and the Y. Oh, there it goes, look. Wow. Over. I need to get this thing turned sideways so it's hanging off this way so this doesn't bump into the table. But wow, literally maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes of setup, cutting that cord off, and you have a ready to cut CNC plasma cutter. Wow, that's crazy. So you can control, like I said, everything from here. So there's cut files, and I'm not sure how to control it. I have to go through the stuff that he has sent me. But you can go through the mode, see there's different shapes, demos, files, setups, torch height controllers. There's a lot of stuff on here. Shapes. Oh man, look at all the pre-set up shapes in there. So you can just choose a shape, I think, and just change the parameters to what you want. But like if you go down to a bracket, see it's got that bracket. Wow, so you can control this whole thing from here, and you really don't even need, if it's nothing crazy, you can actually design from this thing, and you don't need like Fusion 360 like I use, but I do use it. So here we go. If you can see I've selected that, and then it says OK right here, and then look, there it is. It's really overcast in here, but then you set all your dimensions for that right here, and you change what you want. So you can change the units, which I'm gonna do from millimeter to inches. And then you just create this shape. So now it's on to messing with the plasma cutter. I know this plasma cutter has, this is for, this wire right here is for the trigger. And then it says arc, so I think this is my pilot arc wire. So I don't know if I have to jump into there to get the other, because this is the wire, and then I guess you grab one of these for the pilot arc, and then the positive, which is in there, the lug. So I think I can just grab out here and grab in there. I can literally just cut these off and use these. Let me dig into that and we'll get back to it. Alrighty, so it's been a whole day that I was trying to get this plasma cutter to work with the CNC plasma arm, if you will. And I can get it to cut and everything, but I can't get the torch height controller working because this machine, for some odd reason, no matter what I do, you can see I've jumped into it all over the place. I've tested everywhere while I was holding the torch over here, just kind of cutting around. I cannot get the signal for the torch height controller out of this machine. I've read manuals, I've looked at videos, I've did everything that I can do. The whole day I was testing that. So like I said, I could get it to cut without the torch height controller, but that's not what I'm looking for. So I'm actually going to return this machine that I did the review on and get me another one that's a little more expensive, like 60 bucks more. That's a low frequency, and hopefully I'll be able to break into that one and grab the wires that I need and get it to work. It's been about a week. I got the new plasma cutter in. It was only $50 more than the other one. The other one was $99, and it was a high frequency start. This one was $150, and it's a low frequency, but it still doesn't have the CNC hookups. So I've been scouring the internet trying to find anything that makes sense on how to hook up the torch control, which fires the trigger, which that's pretty easy because on these they have a port right here in the front. As you can see there, that's the port. And the other thing that was really hard to kind of figure out, and on the other machine I just couldn't get to work, was where do you hook up for the torch height controller? And on the other one I tried everything and I tested everything, just wouldn't work. So I scoured the internet, and it's really hard to find any literature on how to get inside of one of these super plasma cutters and wire it up to a torch height controller. So I found some older literature of a kit that kind of showed how to break into these and do this, and it's very, very simple. So in layman's terms, which I'm a layman, I'm going to show you how I did it on this one. So basically, the ground wire and the torch clamp are your raw arc voltage for your torch height controller. So wherever you can grab these two leads is what you do. So you can see here, I've got one right there and I've got one right there. And I just ran those wires to the torch height controller on this machine. Works perfect. I did have them backwards at first and it said I was getting an error, switched the wires over, runs perfect. So on the other one, because it was high frequency, I don't know, it was weird. Anytime I hooked anything to that right there, any wire to that, the torch wouldn't fire. So that was definitely a problem with that cutter. But as you can see with this one, I wired right into both of those. Works fine. I wanted to leave the case off to show you guys what I kind of went through there. And this is the newer one. Like I said, this is 150 bucks. It's got a digital display on it. It's pretty much the same thing, just has a digital display. It's a nice plasma cutter. For 150 bucks, you can't beat it. It's been a couple days of messing with this thing and kind of messaging the company back and forth with stuff like how to set up the torch height controller in there, the offsets and everything like that. I still have a little bit of tweaking to do, but I figured it out. And I've also figured out how to take my designs from Fusion 360 and import it into this machine. Not directly from Fusion 360. They kind of make this machine a lot easier, where everything is set up in that controller that right there. All the torch heights, the offsets, everything you want, how fast it cuts, all that stuff is in there. He sends you this, and this is a program. This is a CAD CAM program. And so what it took me a minute to figure out back and forth with him is the program is in here, this stick, and all the videos on how to use this software is in this stick. And then this is the key for this program, because you need a key because it costs money, but he gives it to you for free. So basically, once you get this program downloaded, you stick this key in your computer and start it, and it'll allow you to access this program right here. So I don't have everything with that figured out, but I do know how to import DXF file and make my cut path for this machine. So I'll show you that. And I've also been messing with it and figuring out how to use the pre-set up designs that are in that machine, which is awesome. Like if you're on the fly, you can make brackets and stuff, and you don't need any computer or anything. And you can see here, I've been sample cutting a bunch of stuff with this thing here, and then you can see here, see these two little brackets? I just designed those in there and made them. Just kind of testing this out. Let's go here. Here's a shape library, and it has all these different shapes inside of here, and you could just choose the shape you want and just edit it. So like, you know, I went to this circle, for instance, and you click on it, select it, and then over here is all the parameters for that circle, which I changed. So for instance, I don't know if you can see it. Let me change it real quick. So right here, I'm gonna make this lead in 5 millimeters. I'm gonna make this lead in, I'll make this lead in 5, and then I'll make the actual circle like 15 millimeters, and then inside, and there you go. So see how I edited that and just made that circle? You can do that with all the brackets and everything. You just hit OK, it'll bring it in over here, boom. So it's really, really easy to use this machine. And the torch height controller and everything works great. So let's see, come down with it. Just do a little sample here. So right there, I've got it set right there. And I'll make that my 0 point. And you can see your 0 point is down there. Your X and Y positions are right there. So I hit the 0, it should cut this thing. Let's check it out. You hit start, then it'll ask you, do you want to start cutting? You hit enter. See the torch height going up and down? Boom. And that's as easy as it is. So if we want to go to something out of the stick, go to U-disc. Let's see, U-disc. And then, I don't know, there's my 2 files. I don't know how well you can see with the glare, but there's my 2 files in there. Just select one, which is that, just 2 holes I did right there. So then the same thing, we'll just move over a little bit. Move over a little bit, make that our 0 position, and then start to cut. And ask you if you want to start, hit yes. And there we go. Then it asks if you want to return to your 0 location. Hit yeah. Comes back. And I just move it out of the way. You can see there's our 3 holes right there. So I do still have a little bit of tweaking to do on the settings as far as like how far up it comes when it touches down so it doesn't drag and stuff like that. But it's pretty much usable right now. So what I want to do also is this thing is sitting on these rails, and I just kind of have it propped up on a 2x4. And it'll rock a little bit. This thing's really easy to use, really easy to set up. It's really, really cheap, and it gets here fast from China. I'm really impressed with this thing. So before I tell you guys how cheap this setup actually was, I want to give a thanks to all of you for your support watching all my videos, giving me likes and subscribes. It really helps me stay motivated to make content, because I'm a smaller channel and I don't make a lot of money doing this. So your likes and follows and comments really help me stay motivated to make these videos. So if you haven't, I'd really appreciate it if you give me a subscribe, like on this video, maybe drop a comment below. That support right there will help me out greatly. If you want to support me a little more than that, I have custom made beanies in my support store down below. They're like $15, one size fits all. You can go down to the link below and purchase one of those. That would help me out above and beyond. But if not, that's cool too. Like and subscribe, that works for me. So now to answer the question, you've probably been wondering if you watched to the end of this video, how much do I have in this machine and how long did it take me to get it here from China? So the answer might shock you. It's really, really cheap. So I paid $600 US for this whole machine, and I paid $300 shipping through UPS, and this was here in a week. It was actually like, once it got sent out, I want to say it was only like 5 business days total, and this thing was at my front door. So no import tax, no tariffs, no duties. And the reason for that is this machine is under $800, so it kind of falls into the same import duties, tax regulations as most of the stuff sold on like AliExpress and Temu. That's how they get that stuff to you so cheap, is there's an import kind of tax duties clause where if it's under $800, it doesn't get taxed, it comes directly here. So that's how I was able to get this here so cheap. I got great support from the guy that sold this to me. Any question I had, I would message him, and as soon as he got up or got around, within a couple hours, he would message me back, help me through the whole process. He speaks pretty decent English, and he has his own YouTube channel where he has some of his products like lasers, and he actually has gantry machines like this. So you figure this machine I got $900 in, The plasma cutter right here, I have $150 in. I mean, I got $1,050 in all this stuff. So I'll leave a link below for both of these items. This one here is an Alibaba link to the guy. And if you're interested in this exact machine, just tell him you want to purchase the exact machine for $600 that Randy purchased. He also sells plasma cutters, so he might make you a deal on those. I'm not sure how much that is. Again, I'm not affiliated. I don't make money off this. I purchased this with my own money. I'm just putting a link on there for you guys to help you out. So the plasma cutter was actually on Amazon. I'll leave a link to that below too. At the time of purchase, it was 150 bucks. You can't beat it. And if you get this exact same one, it'll be easy to take the case off and wire right into it to get it to work with this machine, because I already did it and showed you how to do it. So I would probably grab that one. Each one of these plasma cutters that I've had, when I open them up, they're kind of different inside. Some of them have lugs. These don't have lugs. So, you know, this will make it easier for you guys. That's about it for this one. Again, I appreciate all the support from you guys. Keeps me motivated. See you on the next one.